From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
The NBA, we got the Southeast win totals. I know my Atlanta Hawk fans is going to be mad at me, but I got y'all going under 36.5. I'm not saying that Atlanta doesn't make the playoffs, though. We got a 72-game season, and I think what happens here is that the lower seeds in the East are going to have a losing record as usual, and the Hawks will probably finish somewhere in the middle because 36.5 doesn't mean don't mean that they not gonna go over 36. They can finish up the season 36-36 on a year, and that would be really good for this team as well too. All right, they can finish up 35 and 37, but all in all, I think that they'll be much improved because that would be 9 more wins than they got last season as well too. If they're able to get 36 wins, and they got a roster that calls for them to get at least 5 more wins on the season this year. Oni is going to be an absolute beast with John Collins and Trey, and then you got Rondo over there advising and everything like that. But don't get too excited about Rondo because Rondo is only going to play maybe 30 to 40% of the season, and most likely they'll get to the playoffs because Rondo is going to be over there helping coach the team as well too. So it's a good look right here in Atlanta right now. So be excited, Atlanta. You're going to have yourself a good ball team next season that's going to cover a lot of spreads and be a good, nice little dog for us as well too in spots where people don't expect them to win at. And then I got the Hornets, man. I think the Hornets could be the most improved team in the Southeast just because simply adding Gordon Hayward with LaMelo as well too. So you can see that they're making the move to try to be a better team or acquire the right assets to bring in the right type of player to help this team get to the next level. So pretty much I'm going with the over 25.5 Hornets. I think that they're going to be looking really good in this one, and let's go ahead and see how it shakes out. I think it's going to be an awesome game here, and I think it's going to be an awesome season for the Hornets, man. I'm excited, and I'm already betting on LaMelo Ball to win Rookie of the Year. Him, Oni, and James Wiseman. Those is my 3 right there to win Rookie of the Year. And don't ask me anything about Edwards, dude, because I just don't believe in anything that guy's doing right now. No offense to him. He's a good player. I wish him the best. But when guys say that they really not that into basketball, then it kind of just irks me a little bit because there's other people that are dying for the opportunity and you're saying things like that. I know it's like this maybe sound funny or maybe sound cute or something, but, you know, us hoop addicts don't like to hear things like that. So the Heat is honestly going to run away with this division. I think that Heat can be a 50 win team this season. That's pretty damn good. 50-22 is like going 60-22 in the NBA because you're going to get 10 games shorter, but still that 50-22, that's a damn good record right there. And I think that the Heat do get up to 50 wins this year, and the 44.5 I feel like is a alley-oop because this team is going to be damn good and even better with Avery Bradley now at the starting point, out there at point guard for him as well too. So they don't have to worry too much about Dragic's health or anything like that. They'll have themselves a guy that's just like Dragic but better defensively. Then you got the Magic, who are about to be in a rebuild phase. I feel like Aaron Gordon is going to be leaving soon. They're going to be adding players and they're going to be trying to add draft picks, and they're about to make a whole new roster in a sense. I think that honestly, Isaac probably will be the key piece that they build around and go from there. To be dead honest with you, there's not much I can say about the Magic. But one thing I can say about the Magic, if they're able to hold on to Aaron Gordon, hold on to some of those pieces that they have, don't be surprised when this team is winning games that they ain't supposed to win, especially when they go down to the state of Texas. I don't know what it is, but Orlando always figures out ways to beat the Spurs and the Rockets when nobody expects it and when nobody sees it coming. So you guys be on the lookout for that. The Magic are going to be a good team in good spots. You know what I mean? That's how I feel it with this one. Jay Breezy. And then we got the under 29.5 with the Wizards. Boy, oh boy, I feel like this one is going to be a good good little number for you. I think that they're going to probably be the number one team in the draft next year. I mean, in like where they're gonna have an opportunity to draft from 3 to 1. I think that's exactly what the Wizards need. I think that they're about to get a game changer within a year, but right now they're gonna figure this thing out. And I think what happens is they move John Wall first, and then they move Brad Beal sometime during the middle point of the season. But they're gonna be trading him to a team that they can get a draft pick out of, or 2 or 3 draft picks out of. So pretty much, if you got picks on deck, Bradley Beal is probably coming your way. And John Wall is, I don't know, they're going to have a big situation, a big deal going for John Wall. Cole Anthony is going to be another player that I like a lot. I think he could be on the all-rookie team, to be honest with you. I don't know about being the rookie of the year, but all rookie teams should be right up his boat. But I really wish Cole Anthony would have stayed another year at North Carolina, just so he could go ahead and polish his game off a little bit more. And just because guys from North Carolina don't leave as freshmen anymore. They really stick around and learn the game, and then they get themselves good jobs in the NBA and get to stick around 10, 12 seasons. A lot of these guys who came out early, they're not going to be around for long, dude. 4 or 5 seasons at best, and we'll probably see them in Europe. Seriously, because I don't know where their dedication's at. But that's it, Southeast, and then we move on. South or West, my favorite airline, Southwest. All right, there it is, Southwest. Over 42.5. I think the Mavs actually win the division this year. The Mavs should be good. They're adding some pieces, but you know it's going to be the Luka KP show. So I'm ready for that, and I hope that everything works out for them. But over 42.5 wins, that's very logical, and that's very possible, and it looks like a slam dunk to me. Then we got the over 35.5 with the Rockets. Boy, oh boy, this is going to be a good one, man. The Rockets, if they're able to keep together, stick it out just for the first half of the season, they won't regret it. Westbrook, Harden, they got themselves a legit big man now with DeMarcus Cousins, who wants to prove himself that he's still a very viable entity in the NBA. And pretty much he's excited about going to Houston, and I think this will kind of calm down Harden and Westbrook a little bit as well too. And give the new coach a chance. You know you want to play for the coach. You begged for that coach to get the job. They gave him the job. Then you guys want to complain about what the owner is doing on his private time. It don't matter what the owner do, man. Just go out there and win some games, and everybody can be happy. That's what it's all about. When you're not winning no games, ain't nobody ain't nobody trying to be around that. You know, ain't nobody trying to be around a losing culture. But I know that their owner, the guy that used to own 72, the guy that used to own the UFC, and he owns Station Casinos in Vegas, he's going to make sure that his boys are going to be, you know, top flight and make sure they're right. But they got to win for him as well, too. So, you know, just be cool, Harden and Westbrook. You got a good situation going on over there. You done got rid of D'Antoni, a guy that does not preach defense at all. Now you guys can get down to the basics of the business. And you guys, the small ball thing kind of worked a little bit. It's going to work out even better now since you got DeMarcus Cousins, a guy that's not scared to move up and down the court. So 35.5 for the Rockets, that's easy money, man. I think that they can get at least 45 wins this season. Them and the Rockets and Mavs, I expect them to be at the top of the Western Conference this year. And then the Grizzlies. Ja Morant is something special, bro. I'm telling you. I think Ja Morant is about to explode next season. He'll be in there is no All-Star game, but he'll probably be second team All-League, something of that nature. So pretty much I do like the over 31.5 with the Grizzlies. I think that this will work out. I love the way that team played, even though they got put out by Lillard and the crew. They deserved to get into the playoffs last year, but it is what it is. Lillard and the gang, they weren't going to be denied. They went ahead and won it. Simple, we move on. Then you got the under 28.5. The Spurs start the dismantling of their team. I think this is going to be great. Popovich's last season as the head coach, too. I think he moves up to the front office and goes back to his old job. It helps build a team. It's just too much for Pop now. You know, his wife has passed away. You know, it's time, in my opinion. It's time. So I love the under 28.5 with the Spurs. And then the Pelicans. This is an overhype. Ball's gonna be hurt this season. Ingram's gonna be hurt this season. And you know Zion's only gonna play 40 games. Come on, bro. They're gonna figure out ways to be like, oh, he's hurt tonight. His knee's sore. This, that, and the third. Because if he plays a full season, Pelicans are danger. But I don't see him playing a full season. I see him maybe getting 40, 50 games in, and that's about it. And those 40, 50 games will be the difference and will help them maybe get to AFC. But I think we're overthinking this thing and overshooting it a bit with the Pelicans. I think that really you guys have to slow your roll with this team. And they're going to make, and if they are in the playoff contention, they will make a deal to where, you know, pretty much they probably will get rid of somebody like Zoe or not Ingram or Hart, because Ingram's there for the long haul. Their NBA Jams duo is supposed to be Zion and Ingram right now. So the Duke boys. So we'll see how it goes, but I love the under 36.5. I think this is an actual slam dunk. I think that the Pelicans don't win more than 30 games this season, to be dead honest with you. So that's kind of hating, though. That'd be 30 and 42 this year. But you know what, though? I don't think, you know, pretty much they living in the lottery anyway. So, hey, get another asset. You know what I mean? So pretty much we move on.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll have another in Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
In color. All right, so NBA Central Division win totals: Bucks under 50.5. I say that the Bucks win 50 games flat. 50 games flat. That's how many games they win this season, is 50 games. And they're at 50.5. So I think that I'm praying that the hook is the gift here. So I think they finish up the season 50-22. That's the equivalent of finishing the season 16-22. We all know that Giannis is going to sit out at least 10 games this season. The boy got tendonitis in his knees. They don't like to say that to you, but he does. And then you also know that you're going to have other guys sitting out as well too. Drew Holiday is going to have days where he got a shin issue or a knee issue or something of that nature. So I'm just going off the fact that the Bucks will probably run out to a good start, and then they'll probably regress a little bit, chill out, and not go too crazy like they did last year, because they might have played way too strong, and going into the playoffs, they just weren't ready to cut that back on. Same thing kind of happened to the Warriors when they lost to the Cavs 3-1, is that they played so hard during the regular season, so hard during the playoffs. When they caught that 1L in the series up 3-1, they just couldn't turn it back on anymore. So pretty much the Bucks kind of fell up under that category as well too, and it happens, and it was the worst time of the year to catch a losing streak, but that's just what happened to the Bucks. So I think the Bucks, I'm not going to say they're going to give up games or anything like that, but teams are going to play them much tougher, and they're not going to go over-exude themselves in certain spots. If they're down 10 with 5 minutes left to go, or 3 or 4 minutes left to go in a game that they're exhausted in, they're not going to go try to press the issue and get you to overtime, because this is how Giannis came up gimpy. This is how other guys couldn't finish at the end of the year, because they was wiped out, man. Even though they got a 4-month break, but still, they was kind of wiped out from a very grueling season of trying to beat down everybody every single night. The Bulls are still a year or two away from being back in the picture. They got the Bulls at a nice number, though, 29.5. They do believe in the Bulls, but I don't think the Bulls are absolutely there yet. I think the Bulls have more moves to make, and they look like a team that wants to be drafting in the top 5 next year as well, too, because from what I'm hearing, this is going to be one of the more talented drafts in years. But you know what? They said that 20 years ago about the 2001 draft that had a whole bunch of high schoolers in it. So pretty much we're going to see how it goes and go from there. But let's not think about next year's draft. It's all about what's going to be happening from December 22nd until the end of the season next year. So Bulls under 29.5 in this spot. And I think that they'll be moving Zach LaVine at least through probably the first 2 months of the season as well, too, if they do start off on a really bad losing streak, okay? So we move forward, and we got the Cavs under 22.5. Cavs are just pining to draft number 1 again and try to figure out if they can find that gem like LeBron. But you know what? LeBron's once in a lifetime for the Cavs, and what they're going to have to do is they're probably going to have to build this team through veterans. They keep wanting to build the team through, young guards and guys that are kind of like the fall-off guys and potential guys and all that good stuff. But the thing is, though, the Cavs still need a lot of work, and they need to figure out to not keep drafting the same position in the same spot each year. So I think this year they're going to be under 22.5, and they're going to be picking in the top 3 as well, too. Because you know what? They did their owner a favor when LeBron left. They got the draft in the top 4 at least 3. All those years LeBron was gone. This year they've been drafting in the top 5 the 2 years LeBron's been gone. Now they're going to let him probably get back into the top 3 because they're going to have an awful season next year. And Kevin Love, we all are ready for them to free you as well, too, brother. So hopefully they do that for you, and we'll go from there. We got the Pacers, and I got them going over 39.5 this season. I think the Pacers are going to actually give the Bucks a run for the Central Division this year. If Oladipo just pipes down and shuts up and just rolls with what they have, this is good. This is a good team. Come on, Vic. You played college basketball in Indiana as well, too. So get over it, man. You just want to switch teams because you see other people switching teams. I thought Indiana was creating something pretty nice there on the low, under the radar, but something that can beat you, something like what Toronto did, something like what the Bucks did. And you know what? They got really good players. They got Sabonis. They got Oladipo. They got Miles Turner as well, too. This team has a lot of potential to make a lot of noise in the East this year. Why would you want to leave this team for them to trade you to somewhere like maybe like Houston or somewhere where you might not fit at? You're where you need to be at, and then next year think about moving along and things of that nature. But this is also a good option for the Patriots during the season as well, too, because now they have a moving asset, and they can probably go ahead and go trade for another disgruntled star and figure out a way to, appease Oladipo without, having too much of a fall off. So Pacers over 39.5. I like it. I really, really like it. And the Pistons are over 23.5. The Pistons made some good moves on the low. A lot of people have to understand that about the Pistons. Pistons, they didn't make it big box office plays or anything like that, but they made big moves that is going to make their team a little better next season. I think that by not having Blake Griffin most of the year, that's what really kept the Pistons where they were at. And if they don't move Blake Griffin and they keep him and Derrick Rose, it's going to be the revenge society over there in Detroit. And it's going to be tough to win games in the Motor City over at Little Caesars Arena. So we'll see how it goes, but Pistons over 23.5. I like it. I'm not saying they're a playoff team, but they're much better than the wins that they're giving them this season, in my opinion. So there it is. That's the Central Division for you. Now we move on to the Northwest, one of the more irrelevant divisions in all of basketball, but they have some of the best guards in the game in the division. You got Murray on the Nuggets. You got Spider on the Jazz, you got McCollum and Lillard on the Blazers, and then the Thunder and the Wolves. But the Wolves do have added D'Angelo, and Cat can shoot a little bit as well too, and they have the number 1 pick in the draft when Anthony Edwards. So pretty much, the Wolves got some things working out for them as well too. But let's start on the Blazers. Blazers look like they're gonna win this division and maybe run away with it as well too. But let me kind of dial that back a little bit because I do have to remember the Nuggets are here as well too. So pretty much the Blazers are going to be the favorite. We all know that. And I think that the Blazers, by adding Covington, they're going to put themselves over the top a bit because this is an improved version and younger version of what they have in Carmelo. And I think if they do keep Carmelo around for the veteran experience and things of that nature, the Blazers will be a top 5 team in the West next season. And I know that's what they're aiming for as well too. So pretty much Blazers over 40.5. Let's see how it shakes out. Jazz are going to be a team that's a wild card. They could be the winners of this division or they could be the third place team in this division. It's one or the other in my opinion. So I really truly feel the Jazz will still make the playoffs this season, but will they make it with a big bang or will they make it with the scraping in there and kind of clawing their way in there? But they're definitely going to go over 40.5 wins this season. So there it is, Jazz over 40.5. Spider, congratulations, you just got paid as well too. So you're going to be a fixture in that community for a while now, and I know you're excited about it. So we'll see how it goes. And then we got the Nuggets over 44.5. I feel the Nuggets are second to the Lakers right now when it comes to the best teams in the Western Conference, and I think that they are a possible threat to the Lakers as well too because they're playing with a lot of length and they're playing with guys that are very skilled as well too. And I just can't get enough of that Jamal Murray, man. I keep running back the tape of what he was doing in the playoffs, and it's absolutely insane. That's top 10 performances ever in my lifetime watching the playoffs. And boy, oh boy, I can't wait to watch some more. Hopefully nothing serious happens to him injury-wise, and he can just go ahead and play Jamal Murray basketball and entertain us all. But he does look a little brittle. He does get a little gimpy a lot. And then we have the Thunder. I got them going over 23.5. I'm probably the only person thinking like this, but I really do feel like the Thunder are going to be a better team next season than they look on paper because Chris Paul taught them a lot of things. He taught them how to win, things of that nature. And I think that just going to Oklahoma City in general, that's always going to be a tough game for any team in the NBA, just simply because they're going to be always having fans that, well, if they do have fans there, the fans are absolutely in support of their Big Blue. And pretty much they just love winning in that arena as well too. So Thunder over 23.5. I think majority of their wins will come at home. And I think what happens here is they lose games, but they're the team that covers games as well too. So there it is, Thunder over 23.5. Let's see how it shakes out. And then I know I'm going to catch some of you guys off guard, but I got the Wolves going under 27.5. I feel like they're using Culliver and Edwards as assets to get a better veteran down the road. You know what I mean? Because the thing is, that's what Cat and D'Angelo Russell need. They need a veteran. They don't need more puppies, more rookies to run with. They need guys that know exactly what they're doing if they're trying to make that move to the playoffs. You know, them getting Covington would have been a better deal for Minnesota because Covington, to me, was a prize piece. And then maybe what they might want to do is add Nicholas Batum. I know that they're having some cap issues because they're paying Cat a lot of money, they're paying D'Angelo Russell a lot of money, but they can figure out a way to kind of maybe circumvent some things and make maybe Charlotte pay half that contract and get involved in the sign and trade that they're trying to pull off with Nicholas Batum as well too. So pretty much that could be a fit for this team as a veteran to help them out a bit. So I'm going to go ahead, and this is going to be it for the Northwest Division. And as you guys can see it, go ahead and mark it down. I'm even going to throw out the snippet for it as well, too. All these are going to be on a list, and then at the end of the year, we're going to see if what came true and what didn't come true. All right, so there it is. For today, we got tomorrow, we're going to be doing the Atlantic Division and the Pacific Division. So that means we get to talk Lakers and Celtics tomorrow. So I can't wait. Now, it is time. It is time for what I made my name on, and that's going to be college basketball. We got
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll have another, and Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
And in the Atlantic Division, we got ourselves a really good group here. The Celtics, I got them going over 46.5 wins. I think adding Tristan Thompson to the fold, that's a very, very good move for them because they need an enforcer in the middle as well. Also think that with the healthier Kemba Walker next season, they'll be damn good, really good. And Tatum and Brown are about to take they're about to take it to the next level. They remind me of two guys that used to play for the Pistons. One, Grant Hill. The other was Allen Houston. Both left the Pistons pretty early, so they didn't really know how great they could have been together. But still, this is what it looked. This is what it would have looked like if those two would have stuck together. Tatum kind of in the role of Grant Hill, and then you got Jaylen Brown. He's not as great a shooter as Allen Houston yet, but he is getting there. And I think he's a little bit more athletic than Allen Houston as well too. But the Celtics, getting rid of Hayward, now they got that monkey off their back a little bit. They don't have to put pressure on themselves to make sure that the highest paid guy on the court can be on the court. So now they've gotten rid of that contract. That bad contract was never a good deal for the Celtics. And pretty much now I think that they're fully aware that now they know exactly who their team is, and they'll easily go over 46.5 wins. And then we got the Nets under 45.5 here. I know that it looks kind of funny right now. I'm not hating, but I think that the Nets are going to be hit 45 like right on the nose. And what happens here is that the Nets are going to have chemistry issues this year, and they're going to have injury issues. You have to understand they're not going to play KD in pretty much most of these games. They're playing 72 games. I would say KD plays 50 because they're going to have to let him get off nights when it's back-to-backs and things of that nature. Same thing goes for Kyrie as well, too, because, you know, he'll be like, oh, my wrist hurts. Oh, my ankle hurts. Whenever KD wanted to sit out, he'll probably want to sit out, too. So pretty much you have to understand that those guys are probably only going to give them 50 to 60 games each. And I would say the way that they're tearing down the roster, this team it's gonna be hard for this team to win without those two. Before, when they just had it when they just had the squad around Kyrie, that team could win without Kyrie being there. But this is a different monster. This is a different day, and I think that with the brand new head coach, things are going to be, the transition's not going to be as quickly as most think it's going to be. And the 76ers and Nets are pretty much, to me, the same team. You got the Nets, they got their two superstars as well too, and they've added Danny Green, that's for the shooting, but I think that the coaching is going to be the thing that gets the Sixers right where they need to be. You know, Doc Rivers is good enough to get you to 45, 46 wins this season, and pretty much, you know, that's what it is with Doc. Doc might not get you to a championship or anything like that, but he will get you to the playoffs, and I will give him that. So there it is, over 44.5 for the Sixers. I think that the Raptors are going to regress this season. I think that pretty much they have ran their course a bit, and I know that Van Fleet's coming back and all that good stuff, but I would think that now is time to for Kyle Lowry, if they do not play well this season, for them to move Kyle Lowry as well too, move that money off the books and really restart this whole Raptors thing. They got their championship. They can go ahead and rebuild this thing from scratch, in my opinion, with the Raptors, and, you know, get the flow going the way that they want to get it going. And Nick Nurse is already a damn good coach, but I just feel like it's going to be a little bit of a fall-off point for this team. We did see that. We did see signs of that in the playoffs last year as well, too. Then we got the Knicks over 22.5 games. I think the Knicks can win 25 games this season. I'm not saying that they make the playoffs this year, but I'm going to say that the Knicks are going to be much better than they're giving them. The Knicks are actually right now number 14 in the overall wins total. So that means that they are at the bottom of the barrel, and a lot of people have New York drafting number 1 next year as well too. So pretty much the Knicks, I would say that they were going to be a bit better, and I think the Knicks will be a team that will cover for you as well too. So we'll be paying attention to this all season, and we'll go from there. And then we move on, and we got ourselves the Pacific Division. I got the Clippers going over 46.5 games. Lakers going over 47.5 games. They should be running away with the Pacific Division, and it should come down to these two teams on who's going to win this division. The Suns, I got them under 38.5. I don't think that they're going to play to the hype like everybody else is trying to say that they are. I think that Chris Paul is just getting older, and all he's coming there to do is really just teach lessons and teach you on how to get to the playoffs and everything like that. But that won't be enough for this team to be one of the big factors in the league this year. So Pretty much what I'm saying is that the Suns can make it into the playoffs, but they'll probably be like a 37-25 team making it into the playoffs, which isn't bad. But the thing is, though, that's how I see it with them, though, this year, that they'll be a 7th, 8th seed, and they'll be, like, literally barely making it into the playoffs as well, too. They still got to learn how to win fully, you know what I mean? Like, Booker still has tendencies that lose you games. I know he's great, and everybody loves the way he scores, but he has a loser mentality as well, too. So he has to get over that as well, too. So pretty much we move forward, and we got the Warriors over 36.5. I think the Warriors are going to be right there in the middle of things. I know everybody's crying about Klay not being there, but you know what? It's a new day in San Francisco, a new day in the Bay, that they're going to have to go ahead and learn how to play an inside-out game that's going to actually work if they go ahead and work Wiseman in my opinion. And if they work him in this season, I think that the Warriors will be much better than advertised without Klay. And then they can probably make a move to where they can move Klay as well, too, because he'll never be the same player again, man. Even though his shooting won't go anywhere, he won't be the athletic guy that he was before, or the great defender he was before either. All right, so the Kings under 28.5. I feel like it's time with the Kings. They're going to blow this team up, honestly. Bagley, they talking about they want to build around Bagley, Fox, and Hill. These guys are going to start getting bored with losing in Sacramento. So if I'm the Kings, if this thing really goes bad the first half of the season, don't fire the coach. Don't do any of that. Just start breaking down the team, start getting rid of the stars, and start acquiring assets, just like what teams like OKC is doing right now. You know what I mean? Acquire assets for the future, because that's really what you guys got to do, because right now you guys are just a really good farm team in the NBA. So hopefully they can step it up, but I still think they go under 28.5 games. All right, so let's go ahead and move forward, and we got some college basketball.
Thank you for tuning into the Primetime Angles, the premier sports betting show, hosted by the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper. This is a Prime Wave Media production, and go ahead and press that subscribe button.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.